Okay folks, it is Friday the 28th of February 2025, just after 10:30 in the morning, about 10:35, and I find myself in a position I was in way back when the YouTube channel first started. I'm looking at the weather forecast. I've been tracking it all week, quite worrying. We're in for 7 days of ridiculously strong winds and rain every day for the next 7 days, sometimes quite heavy. And the winds, some days the average wind speed is going to be 40 kilometers an hour with gusts in excess of 65 kilometers an hour. If you've seen the channel at all before, you'll know that my tent's not in the best of shape. Let's take a look at the general case, and then we'll look at some repairs I've been trying to do the last couple of days, just to shore things up a little bit. Let's have a look at the tent as is. So here it is. There is no roof. It is a tarpaulin over the top, which is getting on a little bit now. That wall there at the right hand side is gone, and there's a tarp there. Here to the left of the door, all that black, well, that was a slit, a break from ceiling to floor, which I have endeavoured to patch with bin liners. I tucked it inside the tent at the top, came out through the hole and down, and then I've had to layer three bags, one under the other, to take it down kind of to the ground. The roof here I've strengthened with a bit of duct tape in places on the outside, and also on the inside. But if you know anything about trying to put duct tape on old surfaces or dirty surfaces, if you can get the duct tape to stick for 2 or 3 days, it'll stick forever. The difficulty is keeping the duct tape in place for that first 2 or 3 days. Can be tricky. Also, inside here, where the poles bend up and over, I've added strengthening. If you can see over there where I haven't done yet, where those light patches in the roof, where the tarp is stretched over the poles, it stretches and you get breakages. You get small holes in the tarp which allow water in. So I'm in the process of adding some extra strengthening, just to try and also here, look, on what is my door now, the tarp, I've had to add some strengthening here, because these grip pegs, they're fantastic, but they do have teeth. They do cause damage over time. Oh, one more thing inside. Let me step back in. Oh, sorry folks. Here, where this wall fell away, this is the original wall, I've tried to stick that down. The idea is that if this tarp leaks, as it kind of does a little bit, I want the water to run down the existing, the original wall, but I'm having difficulty getting it to stick to the internal bedroom. It's not really working for me. I might need to find some other idea here, or just rely on the tarp as is. So I tried this. This is mainly yesterday's work, but like I said, it's not. If you can get, see, like here, if you can get the duct tape to stick, it'll stay forever. Like here's bits of duct tape here that I put here, I don't know, 6 months ago, and that's all still in place fine. In fact, you can't get it off. But the stuff that you put on, you have to get it to last the first 2 or 3 days. If you can't get that far, you get nothing. If you do, it'll stay there permanently. So these are I've also attempted to tighten the tarp over the roof. I took these pegs off yesterday, pulled the tarp down tight, because the wind is going to be coming from this way, from east and northeast. It's going to kind of swing around a little bit, but 60 kilometers an hour is well, it's unimaginable for me. It is. It's a real worry. I did some more patching and pulling and tensioning. Oh, I tensioned a lot of the guy lines yesterday. Put some new pegs in places where some of the lines aren't adjustable anymore. If you can't adjust the lines, then I thought pulling the tent pegs out and pulling them further away from the tent would work, but some of the tent pegs I just can't get out of the ground. At times the ground is concrete, and at other times it's marshland, and you alternate between not being able to get a tent peg in the ground and sometimes not being able to get a tent peg out of the ground, and other times they push in like mush, and any tension on the line just pulls the peg straight out. So it varies. Tried to patch this corner here. This corner here, well, you can see how open that all is. Got this tarp here, but it didn't reach this corner. So again, bin bag underneath, secured, and just to catch any extra runoff and try and take it to ground instead of inside this corner of the tent. These grips, these pegs, they're fantastic, but there's no way they're going to hold. There's no way they're going to hold on in. There's no way at all they're going to hold on in 65 km/h winds. Not a hope in hell. So I'm going to have to dig out some extra rope and some extra pegs and try and add some additional fixing around the tarpaulin itself. I got a few cable ties, but none of the rings are next to the poles. So the cable ties I thought I'd try and cable tie to the poles, but they don't line up. So I'm going to have to go with rope and tent pegs. Tina, let's have some quiet. So that's where we are, folks. I'll try and insert something here showing some of the weather forecast. But basically, 7 days of rain, 7 days of strong wind. Now, various weather forecasts have it all different. Some of them had some rain starting at 9 o'clock this morning, 11 o'clock. But really, it's the middle of the night tonight is when it kicks off properly. The wind's due to start any time now. 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, noon. 30, 35, maybe 40 kilometres. But Saturday, tomorrow afternoon, is when it's going to get at its worst in terms of wind. The forecasts for the rain, as I said, I've been watching all week. They've varied. For Saturday and then next Wednesday are the biggies, Saturday and Wednesday. And they've varied as much as 35 millimetres in the day, down to 10 or 11 millimetres. As I said, Saturday, and then it's going to rain every day. Maybe not today, or maybe not until late tonight. But it's going to rain every day for the next week. It's going to be windy continuously. 35, 40 kilometres an hour average winds with gusts in excess of 60. And until I think it's either next Friday or next Saturday we'll get some sunshine. I got the solar panel out now, and surprisingly it is picking up a little bit of charge. We got up from, we were on I think 78% on the EcoFlow this morning on my little battery generatory thing. We were on 78%. We're approaching 90 now, which, given that the weather forecast said no sun at all day, I'm glad of, and hopefully we can pick up a little bit each day in between. If we'd not got any sun at all today, we would have been running out tomorrow afternoon, maybe early evening by my calculations. But if we can keep it up above 90, 95 at the end of the day, that'll take us through the night. If we can get a little bit of a top up each day, but that's not guaranteed with how dark and dull, and if it does rain every hour of every day, as the forecasts are kind of showing. But if you know how, go back and watch my first half a dozen videos on this channel. So down below the video it says the name of the channel, Delta Mike Down and Out in Torrevieja. Click that actual word, not the word more, but click that actual word. That takes you through to my channel page, and there's like a front page. But if you click the word videos, it takes you to a list of all of the videos, starting with the most recent. But there's a button there next to it to start with the oldest first. Go there, and the top videos will then be the oldest, and watch the first half a dozen. Those are from when the channel started, and we were facing literally 10 days every day with thunder and lightning. and I was in a little hovel. 6 broom handles pushed into the ground with 1 tarpaulin pulled over the top. The tarpaulin was one that I'd got from the bins, and that had been thrown away by a builder, so it had rips and tears and everything. It's held together more by duct tape than anything else. There was more duct tape than there was tarpaulin. Those were the days. Okay, folks. As I said, I'm gonna insert some a little bit of footage, a screen grab or two from the weather forecasts to give you an idea of what I'm facing. You can see the state of the tent. I haven't shown you the back side where there's rips. There's 2 rips that go from ceiling to floor, and also the doors don't close on either side. The doors don't close properly. Well, the far side don't close properly. This one doesn't close at all. Hence the tarpaulin. Okay, folks. I think I'll release this as a standalone video, and then I might use bits of it as an intro for a longer video as I chart my progress through the week. Let's see how it goes. The oncoming storm. Okay, folks, it is just after 11 o'clock on Friday morning, and we're going to take a look at the weather forecast as is right now and for the upcoming week or so. So here we are with today's overview, and they've actually shown a little bit of sun for right now for this next hour, which is nice. That's a recent update. Possibly reflecting the fact that the sun was just shining on the solar panel slightly. But cloudy the rest of the day, and they've brought the rain forecasts forward, although they're only 20% chance of rain, 5 o'clock onwards. If we click for actual precipitation, we can see they're predicting 5.6 millimeters for today, which is incongruous with what they're actually showing you with these 10 and 20% chances of next to nothing. But I think their precipitation runs 7 o'clock in the morning until 7 o'clock the next morning. So if we just scroll on a little bit and look at tomorrow morning, you can see that there's a few millimeters of rain there first thing in the morning. So I think that's what that is. If I show the wind for today, we're mainly in the high 20s, and then this evening into the 30s. If we look at tomorrow, Saturday, and we start with the overview. Hold on, there we go with the overview. And we see that the rain, it's basically cloudy, dull, overcast, raining all day. Precipitation down to 11.4 millimeters. Has been as high as 35 millimeters. So I'm glad that's come down, because 35 is an awful lot for a tent with no roof and holes in the tarpaulin and walls missing and everything else that we've got here. The winds for tomorrow, 42 kilometers per hour. That's the peak of that. That would be the average wind speed at 2 o'clock in the afternoon tomorrow. Gusts, I've got a different app, shows the gusts reach about 65 kilometers an hour at that point. So not good in a rickety old tent, which is actually coming up on a year old, folks. It'll be, I think it was March the 4th or 5th that we put the tent up. So here is Sunday. Let's start with the overview. Basically rain all day, although some of it, so here's the thing, anything less than 40% chance I kind of ignore. 20% chance, 30% chance, those don't bother me too much. By the time you're on 40 and 50%, there's a good chance it happening, especially when it's raining all day. So the proper precipitation guide shows just 2.3 millimeters, not too bad. The winds though, the winds are 32 kilometers still. Basically it's going to be 30 or thereabouts and above all week until next, I think, Friday. Monday, I'll just go through some of these days quickly. Monday's overview, there's a couple of hours where they're saying no rain. Maybe we'll get a chance to top up the EcoFlow. Precipitation, only a couple of millimeters. Wednesday's the next biggie. Wednesday's the other day that was showing 30 something millimeters. That's come down to just 12 or thereabouts. Just, he says, just 12. And as I said, it's Friday before we get an actual break and actually predicting some sunshine. Although you can see even then they're saying still a chance of rain. So that's the upcoming week, folks. That's yeah, that's the next 10 days or so. Let's have a look at the wind speeds. Still 20 or thereabouts. So it's it's going to be a challenge, especially this next 5 days, 6 days, up until Wednesday. It's going to be difficult. We've had winds around 30, well, above 30, 35 kilometres an hour before, but usually just for an hour or two on a specific day, not 4 or 5 days of 30 kilometres an hour plus. Okay, back to me outside. Okay, folks, I'm just going to make a coffee and then get tucked in with her ladyship prior to the winds, which are expected to pick up in the next hour or two. Okay, folks, later. Join me on Sundays for TrampCast. It's the weekly look at the successes, the failures, the happenings in my life as a tramp, a homeless guy, a hobo, living in Torrevieja in Spain. Love to see you there, folks. Okay, Delta Mike, out.